All right, let's get right into it. If you're gearing up for high-stakes competitive exams like the IBPS PO, SSC, CDS, or defense exams, you already know the English grammar sections can be, well, completely unforgiving. Today, we're unlocking the literal secret code to acing those really tricky error spotting and filler tests. And it all comes down to mastering one absolutely fundamental building block, verbs. Now, tell me if this sounds familiar. Do you frequently lose points on error spotting tests? You know the feeling, staring at a sentence, knowing something is off but you just can't put your finger on it. Yeah, you're definitely not alone. But here's the thing. The solution isn't just relying on your gut feeling anymore. It's about truly understanding the underlying architecture of verbs. Once you see the matrix of how verbs actually operate, I promise you, those hidden errors are going to jump right off the page. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. What exactly is a verb? 2. Mastering the main verb. 3. Targets, transitive versus intransitive. 4. Bounded by time, finite verbs. 5. Helpers and moods, modals. And finally, 6. Crucial rules for exams. Let's do this. Okay, section 1. What exactly is a verb? The foundation of every sentence.
Look, we really need to broaden our understanding of a verb way beyond that simple grade school definition. Yes, obviously a verb is an action word. But for these advanced exams, you have to remember that a verb, or a group of words acting as a verb, is also used to indicate possession, like actually having something, or a critical state of being. It's not just physical actions, guys. It's existence itself. It's the whole shebang.
Now, check out this structural blueprint. This illustrates generative grammar perfectly. Notice how verbs fundamentally split right at the very top into two main categories, main verbs and auxiliary verbs. It's like a giant puzzle, and honestly, every single grammar trap you'll face on your exam traces directly back to the branches of this exact tree. Moving right along to section 2, mastering the main verb. What is the subject doing? Whenever you're staring down a complex, completely tangled sentence in an exam, you need to actively ask yourself this one vital rhetorical question. What is the subject doing? Seriously, make it a habit. If the sentence is Richa is playing badminton, just ask, what is Richa doing? Boom. It gives you the instant answer, playing. That right there is your main verb. And here is the real aha moment. For sentence correction, main verbs mutate. They literally change forms from V1 all the way to V4, shifting across present, past, perfect, and continuous states. Understanding these forms, knowing how they morph, is absolutely crucial. It's the absolute key to mastering tense consistency.
All right, section 3, targets, transitive versus intransitive. Does the action have an object?
So a major sticking point here is distinguishing between these two. A transitive verb exerts its action directly onto an object. If I say, I am painting the car, well, the car is receiving the action. Makes sense, right? But an intransitive verb, like in the simple phrase, I am painting, doesn't take a direct object at all. Words like arrive, smile, cry, or happen, those are intransitive. They stand totally alone. And trust me, examiners love to test if you know which verbs require targets. Let's also quickly highlight another key contrast under that main verb umbrella. Regular verbs follow your typical, totally predictable patterns, just adding ed to work to get worked. Easy. Irregular verbs, however, they have completely unique tense forms that you literally just have to memorize. There's no way around it. Go doesn't become goed. Actually, scratch that. No one says that. It becomes went in the past and gone in the perfect tense. Section 4, bounded by time, finite verbs. The limits of tense and person. Navigating further down our blueprint, we had another absolutely essential dichotomy for error spotting. Finite verbs are limited. They are strictly bounded by the actor, the number, or the tense. So if the subject is singular, that finite verb must be singular. Non-finite verbs, on the flip side, are unbounded. An infinite verb, like to achieve, is completely independent of person and tense. It never changes, no matter who is actually doing the achieving. It's kind of a rebel that way. Let's anchor ourselves in the non-finite branch of our blueprint. Notice how the specific branch splits into 3 distinct types. Guys, these are 3 classic traps you are going to see again and again and again on your exams. Let's unpack these 3 quickly. First up, infinitives. These are the root verbs. usually taking the to plus V1 form. Second, we have gerunds. This is when the V4 ing form of a verb actually masquerades as a noun in the sentence. Sneaky, right? And third, participles, which come in present, past, and perfect flavors. Instantly recognizing these structures is what allows you to dissect incredibly complex sentences without breaking a sweat.
Okay, Section 5, Helpers and Moods. Modals. Giving action, mood, and necessity.
We define auxiliary verbs as the crucial support system. They usually accompany the main semantic verb. Think of it like this. The main verb gives you the core content, but the auxiliary verb adds the functional meaning. It expresses the tense, the voice, and the emphasis. They are the ultimate behind-the-scenes helpers.
And let's see how this builds when we look at modals. Modals are a special type of auxiliary verb that actually injects mood or attitude right into the sentence. Can or could shows ability. May or might indicates possibility. Must or have to dictates a strict necessity or compulsion. Basically, they dictate the subject's likelihood and obligation. They set the tone. Finally, Section 6, Crucial Rules for Exams, your ultimate error-spotting cheat sheet. Let's walk step by step through the incredibly strict formatting rules governing modals. Rule 1. To form a question, you simply invert the modal and the subject. No other auxiliaries needed. Rule 2. For negatives, just add not directly after the modal. Rule 3. They can be used in interrogative tags like, you can drive the car, can't you? And Rule 4, which is a big one. Modals do not exist in all tenses. They literally only exist in simple tenses. Examiners love to test you on these exact boundaries. Now here are the absolute never rules. Listen closely. Modals never change their form. You cannot add an S, an ED, or an ING to a modal. Just don't do it, ever. Secondly, modals are always followed by a bare infinitive. That's an infinitive without the word to. And finally, two modals can never be placed together sequentially. No exceptions. Before we wrap this explainer up, here are two major main verb traps you absolutely must avoid. First, the subjunctive mood. When verbs like advise, demand, or insist are used, the following clause must use the base form of the verb. For instance, the board commanded that he stop, not stops. Huge difference. And then there's the golden rule of subject-verb agreement. Singular subjects take singular verbs, plural subjects take plural verbs. Period. End of story. So, to really hit the nail on the head, look at this exact quote from our sources. Two modals cannot be placed together. Saying something like, she must can do it is completely 100% ungrammatical. The correct phrasing is simply, she must do it or she can do it. I know, it seems super obvious right now, but hidden inside a massive paragraph during a really stressful exam, it's an incredibly common illusion that traps literally thousands of students. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've mapped out the generative tree, uncovered the hidden differences between transitive and intransitive, bounded time with finite verbs, and locked down the absolute rules of modals. So, now that you possess the structural blueprint, how will you apply it to decode not just your exams, but the everyday communication that shapes our reality? Keep this explainer bookmarked for your revision, and until next time, keep analyzing and keep learning.